So this factory was built between 1883 and 1919 by the Lycoming Rubber Company.
A subsidiary of U.S. Rubber.
You may have heard Tony in the background. He is with me. So the Lycoming Rubber Company was a subsidiary of the U.S. Rubber Company. So Tony was just asking, was this all built?
By 1919,
By 1919, I'm assuming it was, but if it started in 1883, you would think some of this is more modern. Like for instance, this brickwork here certainly looks
somewhat
newer than the brickwork here.
That's a community wood chip.
So we're gonna go inside at some point as well, but I do want to take a walk around this. I definitely want to get inside. It's really cold. It's only like 28 degrees. The building is still being utilized, which is great, because had there not been some small shops in here, this most likely would have been torn down. So we have the sign here, Lycoming Rubber Company. Not sure when that was painted on there, but I'm thinking most likely it was painted over, but it was up there originally as well. All the old windows are boarded up.
Yeah, there's
I'm almost feeling like at one point they were thinking about tearing this down, right? Because I don't know. It's not in great shape, but someone decided to utilize the space. And one of the reasons I wanted to check this out today is I was reading an article that this place is sort of in danger where it might get torn down.
had an order to vacate.
It had an order to vacate. So I wanted to check it out before
But they're probably gonna.
that happens, if it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think they're probably.
And I think a lot of the people in the community have sort of been fighting that, because as you'll see when we go inside, there's a lot of pretty unique shops in here. So it was originally a rubber company, and they made yacht shoes, tennis shoes, sneakers. One of the brands was Keds sneakers, which you may or may not remember. My memory of Keds sneakers was in my neighborhood, if you wore Keds, you were gonna laughed at. They called them Bobos. You kind of had to have Converse at that time. But I do remember at one point I had Keds sneakers. From what I was reading online, they actually manufactured Keds sneakers here at one time. Check out this old shipping and receiving deck. Probably not doing any shipping and receiving here anymore, but check this out. Look at the old elevator shaft. Look at those huge springs down there.
That's an elevator, right?
Yep. It's kind of cool looking at this, the inside of the elevator shaft. Tony, what are these? Is that a real plant or is that fake?
Yeah, I don't remember what they're called, but I
just find this interesting that this is like white. I've never seen this before.
I can't.
So I'll have to check when this place shut down. I want to say it was sometime maybe in the 1960s or early 1970s when the Pajama Factory shut down. I'm thinking there's probably going to be some information on this place inside. So this is cool, Tony, this tower. So most likely this tower was used to supply power, possibly heat, to the factory. It's kind of what I'm thinking. So the tower's just kind of sitting out here, and it's not connected to anything. So Tony and I were just talking, so how does that power the factory? Or how did it power the factory? But then as we're walking around, it almost looks like there was probably a foundation here. So most likely there was a building surrounding this, and quite possibly connected to the other building. Backing up a little bit so you get a little perspective with Tony standing there. And I have no idea how high this tower is. What do you think, Tony?
I don't know. I'm not even
I always like to guess, and then I will put it at the bottom of the video. I'm going to say that's about 300 feet high. That's my guess, 300 feet high. Right, so Tony just found some tracks. So, yeah, this whole area was much different way back when this was built in the late 1800s. But here you can see some remnants of rail tracks, Tony.
Yeah.
Check that out. So there was a rail line that I'm gonna think maybe, right? There might have been a rail that went right to that they would load up.
Yeah, probably.
All right, so we're inside now. It's just too cold outside. But I will definitely take a look around. There is like a courtyard, which is pretty cool. So I'll hit that on the way out. But as you can see, there's a lot of artwork on the walls. All right, so now I popped outside again because it's just so cool out here. Look at this old... So I don't know if this is just I don't think so. I mean, is this decorative or was this really some type of a mill wheel? And we have these old lights. And as we walk around here, you're going to see a lot of artwork. It's such a cool place. Trying to capture as much of the old industrial remnants. Kennedy Glow. Not sure what that is. It almost looks like a fire hydrant from the top, but I don't know. Not really sure what doors are open. And whoa, check this out. What do we got going on in here?
Yeah, it's a big room. That works.
Okay, so Tony, check this out. They got all these pictures
Of the old...
of Doris Day.
From the Pajama.
I believe that's Doris Day. So, from what I understand, they filmed part of the...
Well, there was a Broadway play based.
All right, so we don't know if they filmed anything here, but that is Doris Day. I don't know who that actor is.
There was a 1950s Broadway musical.
And from what Tony's reading online, there was a 1950s Broadway musical
and a movie, The Pajama Game, this was the inspiration.
So this factory, which I'm assuming these photographs are taken at the factory.
I guess.
was the inspiration for the movie
The
The Pajama Game,
Oh,
which
there's Doris Day.
I have never seen.
Yeah, so maybe they did film part of that here. I don't know. Well,
Quite possibly they filmed part of the movie here, but from what we read online, it just said it was the inspiration. But I'm assuming these pictures are from their visit here. So you know what, Tony? I would assume they probably did some of the filming here as well, right? Why would you... I mean, unless the photos were just taken to promote the movie. Okay, so a little clarification of these pictures that we were just looking at. So they visited here, correct?
And they took pictures.
And they took photos.
But they just used...
And then they built a set,
right.
I would assume, in Hollywood to film the movie.
Yes, I think you're right.
But these pictures were taken here, and I'm thinking most likely in this room. So what was it, Tony? The Weldon Pajama Factory?
Yes. Yes,
Weldon's. And they started leasing here, I think it was 1934. And then they bought the place in the 1950s, 1951 to be more exact. And at one time, Weldon Pajama Factory was the largest pajama factory in the world. Right here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Now this was not part of the pajama factory. Oh, Tony, so I was reading that there was a nightclub here, and they called this place Raytown in the 1980s, and there was actually a nightclub, so I'm assuming that's what this bar was from when this was Raytown. Pretty cool, right? Look, we still have a couple of the old taps. Labatt's Blue and Miller Lite. And then we have some lights here, Tone. This was probably from the nightclub.
It could be.
Right? I mean, very patriotic, right? Red, white, and blue.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, we don't know, but I'm thinking most likely, Tone. Why would you have an old bar here?
Store stuff here. Look, he's got...
Tony?
What?
I'm thinking it's from the nightclub, but probably not all of this. This looks like a...
No,
this looks like some old equipment.
The guy that owns...
What do you think this was used for? This is kitchen equipment.
Yeah. Yeah, we might have just bought stuff in stores in here. I don't. We'd have to ask.
Well, we don't really know what all of this is, but my guess is if there was a nightclub here at one time, I'm thinking some of this was from when there was a nightclub. And Tony, if it was a whole place called Raytown, I mean, this is a huge, there was probably restaurants in here as well. And we got the old booths.
Yeah, this might have been part of the restaurant.
I think it probably was. Whoa, this floor feels a little, it does, right? Old restaurant booths. So it's definitely an interesting place, and it's such a cool mix of some old industrial remnants, and then there's a lot of artwork as well. And you can just kind of roam around this place, which I love that. All right, so we found some steps to the second floor. Look at these old doors. You upstairs, Tony?
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at this old door.
Look at it has like weights.
Does it open?
Yeah.
Oh my God, what's back there?
Look, the weights help close it.
Huh?
Like, you know how doors have pneumatics? This has like a weight system to close the door.
We're learning something every day. All right, let's go in here. Whoa, this is a little scary. That's a heavy door, though.
Yes, it is, Jen. Yeah,
Again, some
more art.
interesting artwork.
This is a gal. The women's room. Yeah, here's the restroom.
So as you look at these restrooms, and we have a wash sink here, just makes me think about all the people that worked here at one time, right?
Yeah. Oh, here's this. That's kind of like a. Isn't that supposed to be that guy?
Same guy?
I think so.
I don't know,
I mean,
Tony.
he's got red lips, but looks like
He does.
holding
He's
his hat. Looks like he's holding his hat.
he's a crazy dude. There he is again. That's gotta be him, right, Tony?
I think so.
He kind of looks like Meatloaf. Remember the singer?
Yeah.
Meatloaf with makeup?
There he is. Yeah, they paint the same person. Yeah.
Well, whoever this guy is, he certainly likes to be painted or photographed. Is that a photograph or painting?
Well, it looks like it's a manipulated
A
photograph.
manipulated photograph. Okay.
That's a big room. Here's the cabin.
Yeah, we got some Wizard of Oz going on here. Cowardly Lion. We got the Scarecrow. Okay. We've
looks
got
like
a.
some-
That looks like. Remember the old paper dolls, right?
Yeah.
And there's. I think that is Shirley Temple.
I think.
And then you got John
Oh
Wayne.
my gosh. That's cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool stuff.
Where's the Tin Man?
Oh, sure. John Wayne was in-
We had the Scarecrow and we had the Cowardly Lion, but no Tin Man. So I'm thinking this elevator, you might remember when I was outside, I was kind of looking into the shaft. I'm assuming that is the elevator. Yeah, this is a huge place.
That might go outside.
This glass has been here a long time, huh?
There's a room there. Yeah, there's that's like a studio, I guess.
Another restroom? Is this a restroom?
Yeah.
I don't usually like to film in restrooms, but this is pretty artistic. Oh, look, Tony, you can take a shower.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, a lot of art.
Iron?
Yeah, it might be.
No.
Aluminum or something. Oops, sorry. Oh, there's the Little Mermaid.
Oh, you're right. It is a mermaid, isn't it? Is it a mermaid?
Yeah, I think so.
We got a lot going on here. What's this dude doing? Right?
Oh, they had the Rocky Horror Picture Show live in October.
Can you go up again, Tony?
You can go up. I think all the way to that.
All right, so I am headed up to the 3rd floor. Third floor is locked.
So that where that you saw that elevator, that's part of that.
Let's see if we can get on the 4th floor. How many floors were there? Do you remember?
I think there's at least 4, if not 5, counting
This is locked as well.
the one in the
No admittance, employees only. Please put cigarette butts in sand buckets. You can tell that's old, right? You can't smoke inside a factory now. Can't smoke anywhere now.
Right.
All right, now we're trying the 5th floor. It says the same thing, no admittance, but they're old signs from when this was a factory. Tony, did you happen to know when this factory closed? The Pajama Factory?
I'm gonna guess
1960s or 70s, you think?
60s or 70s, early 70s.
Oh, look at this. I'm not doing this, but I'm definitely not doing this. It's an entrance to the roof.
Oh my God. That's probably locked.
I'm sure it is. I'm not going to do it, but I am going to just... No, I'm not going to do it. We're not going to be going up on the roof today. I don't think that's going to happen. I like these old light fixtures, Tom.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you got, look, like all this wood is all like boards, not this, like up the steps. Look
They
at
built things to stand the test of time,
yeah,
though,
look
didn't
at
they?
the sides of
Yeah.
everything.
I mean, that's some solid.
It's tongue and groove.
It's
So
tongue
that-
and groove.
That all fits together. Look at how sturdy the steps are.
Yep. These steps have probably been here since the late 1800s.
Yeah. Yeah, I think those other floors are all pretty.
Okay, so now I'm back outside. A lot of it was closed. We did make it up in the stairway to the... What do we got? 5 floors here? 5 floors?
You can go up on most of the floors, but I think it's all a bunch of studios.
But we weren't able to get... We weren't able to walk around up there. Look at that old light fixture, Tony.
Yeah, that's old.
It is. And this is kind of cool right here,
Yeah, where you could cross over.
where you cross from one building to the other. So see what I'm thinking, Tony?
What?
That looks like that was probably built in the late 19th century. And this looks a little later, probably the early 20th century. Remember how you had mentioned it was between 1883 and 1919?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking this was the original building here. This was built on, I mean, it's old, it's 1919,
Yeah, that
but it definitely looks like
Yeah,
slightly
look at the
more
old-
modern
Look at the things up here.
brickwork.
And I don't think that upper floor is open. There.
Remember when I was up by the roof? It probably pops out to one of those.
You weren't over there.
I was not over there. I was on this side.
Yeah.
Oh, look! I thought someone was looking at me. We've got Tim Farrell, Elf. But this is definitely a pretty cool place, Tony. They need to do some work on it, though.
Yeah, it's definitely old. Oh, somebody goes up there.
That looks like a restaurant up there, Tom.
Well, and it said there's like Airbnb rooms here. Did you know that?
I did not. Tony said that there are Airbnb rooms here. So maybe that's why the doors are locked. I mean, people don't want you walking around with a video camera outside your hotel room. Well, I'm not so sure about that, but from what Tony's saying, he thought he read or saw somewhere a sign that there was an Airbnb in here. So if you're ever in Williamsport and you're into this kind of place, might be something you want to check out.